Taking up a large gallery in the Dittrich Medical History Center at Case is the largest, most comprehensive collection of historical contraceptives in the world. More than 800 items, from cat's bones to earwax from a mule.
We have one display that deals with oddities and creative solutions, and they aren't driven by any medical knowledge, but more by desperation. One is a candy wrapper from Australia that was used as a condom, a long candy bar that was once consumed, left over the wrapper, and that was used. Common everyday household objects that end up being inserted in the body is probably the greatest surprise.
There's even a condom machine on the wall. It's vintage and it doesn't work. I lost 2 quarters. Unique? Yes. Educational? Yes. Fascinating? Heck yes.
The goal for us, it's an important one for us. You know, our museum was kind of conceived, if I can use that word, and created as a doctor's museum to document the medical past for physicians. But we felt it was incumbent upon us to do something that brought us out more into the public domain and created a source of information that would be of value to public health and well-being. And certainly, I think the contraceptive collection fulfills that as well as almost anything we could conceive of or do.
We have hundreds of euphemisms for it. Rock the Casbah, get busy, play doctor, rock and roll. Did I say rock the Casbah? Rock the Casbah. Do the deed. Do it.
First of all, it's about sex. And so even if there are limits on the public expression about sex over the airwaves and otherwise, there's still a lot of innuendo and discussion at a lower level about sex. And so it's a topic that has both a titillation factor as well as a taboo factor. So I think that's part of it. I think that some of our collection has a giggle factor to it, perhaps at times, but there's a serious side to it, so it's got both. Perhaps also it's a universal topic. It's of interest to everybody at one time or another in their lives. Here's a little example of the thought process and decision making we went through when we created this display. This anatomical mannequin, which is used to teach about the body, came with its own big erect penis. And we debated, should we show that? You know, medically I said, well, we should be doing this. But I thought, you know, socially, culturally, maybe that's just too much in your face. And so I mentioned to my wife, and she said right away, she said, no way, because that's the only thing a 14-year-old boy will remember about your museum. The thing that surprised me most was the proliferation of kind of advice literature in the 1830s and 1840s. You could pick up some pretty graphic books and learn a lot about sex from those and what would be the appropriate methods for contraception at that time. Yeah, we turned that page to that page of the book because it has a kind of a ribald or kind of racy discussion of the encounter between a husband and wife. But only trouble is it's written in kind of Tudor English, so you might have to be an English student to decipher it. When I say favorite items, I'd say the condom tins are really interesting because they convey something about the cultural milieu, you know, about iconography. For example, there's a condom called the Shake. Well, I haven't done research on it in any comprehensive way, but I would bet you that was inspired by Rudolph Valentino. So it takes you back to the whole idea of what it was to be a great lover. And he, of course, is a great film star, too. And so we can try and take the objects and contextualize them, tell the story behind them, and that's probably the most fun of all of it.
Perhaps the most striking thing about the collection is the extremes that humans will go to prevent pregnancies. No matter how strange or painful, we'll do almost anything except stop having sex.
Now, maybe this is because it was Canada, where Percy was residing when he put this collection together, but he had heard about folk tales in New Brunswick, along the Atlantic Maritime provinces, where people had taken beaver testicles, dried them out, and then used them to make tea, and that they thought that the tea would somehow make the women less fertile somehow. I think it'd just be off-putting generally.
Yeah.